Sean, thank you for joining us here today at the FDCC. Could you introduce yourself to the folks who are watching?
Yes, my name is Sean Griffin. I'm a member of Dykema in their Washington, D.C. office. I'm a commercial litigator, which means I litigate a lot of contracts, government contracts, insurance policies on behalf of insurance companies and other similar contracts, often including allegations of fraud. I'm also a member of Dykema's data security group, where I help clients
Great. And
maintain
it's status. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
maintain their data security and also helping their data security litigation if it comes to that.
Great. And it's data security that I'd like to talk to you a little bit about today, Sean. You recently were blogging on the issue of Zoom video conference calls, not unlike this, and some of the security issues around them. Can you talk a little bit about the topic of confidentiality with these video conference calls?
Absolutely. Zoom has gotten very popular very quickly because it's often free and it's very easy to use. However, there are a lot of confidentiality risks involved. It recently came to light, for example, that a lot of the data security keys that Zoom was generating were being generated in China on Chinese servers. If you're familiar with the Marriott hack, you know that Chinese government is accused of being behind the Marriott hack as well, and they have a strong interest in American internet communications, to put it that way. And so there are a lot of the confidentiality issues when it comes to Zoom, and not just with respect to the Chinese government, but also with respect to people right here in America. You've heard of Zoom bombing, where if somebody gets a hold of your Zoom ID or happens to notice a public Zoom meeting, they can come in and disrupt your meeting, showing profane or otherwise disruptive messages. And basically, there are a lot of Zoom meetings that people sort of assume are confidential because they feel like a phone call. But in reality, if you don't take precautions, those meetings can be wide open for everybody to see. And if you want to keep the meetings confidential, you have to really know about that.
And one of the things that I thought was impressive about your blog, Sean, is you bulleted out some precautions that folks can take. Can you walk us through some of those high level precautions people should be taking when they're setting up Zoom meetings, whether it's with clients, with colleagues, or just talking to folks like we're doing here today?
Absolutely. There are a few things that you want to be sure to do when you're on a Zoom meeting or any other video conference. One, don't make your meetings public. You should require a meeting password or use the waiting room feature to control the admittance of your guests. Don't just blast out your Zoom link to any unrestricted publicly available posts such as Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Instead, you want to email the link directly to the people whom you want to attend. As far as screen sharing goes, restrict that to host only. If you're the host, that way you can control who sends out screen links. You want to ensure that users are using the most recent versions to the extent you can. So if you're in charge of your company's Zoom meetings, that force everybody to update on their computers and on their phones if they're using their phones as well. You want to restrict the remote control of devices, file transfer, data sharing, and screen sharing during Zoom conferences, because it'd be all these issues only for somebody else to take a screenshot or whatever and start sending your confidential information all over the place. And then if you're a company, you want to be sure to remind your employees about appropriate data security procedures, because again, all of these things can be defeated if an employee who has not been properly trained or reminded sends out, forwards your Zoom link to somebody else. So those are the things that I would recommend that people do.
That's a great point on the training as well, Sean. Well, thank you very much for sharing this. This is great information in this era when everyone is having to dial in remotely. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.